Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This time we will study Atma Bodhopanishad. There are two words, Jnanam and Bodha. Jnanam is the knowledge gathered through the medium of perception, such as sense organs, mind, intellect, etc. Bodha is an experience which is independent of any means of knowledge and cannot be negated, altered or corrupted. So here in this Atma Bodhopanishad, the theme presented is come to recognize your own essential self, exactly what we are. Because all of us know I, but that knowledge of I, is it the right knowledge or the wrong knowledge? I as a husband, I as a man, I as a soul, or I as the absolute reality? Which I? So unless we come to a correct understanding as to what do we mean by the Atma or the Self, we will be only struggling in this world under the disguise of religion or upasana, devotion to the God. Therefore, there are 3-4 stages through which every seeker has to go. First, we are leading our life at the body level, meaning accepting ourselves to be the body. Now as long as we are living as the body, for the body, on everybody, then we are trying to follow the path of religion. And what is the path of religion? It is karma oriented, do's and don'ts. These two together constitute dharma or the religion. Don't do this, do this. And by this, we feel we are walking the spiritual path, but it is not. If we are really walking the spiritual path by following dharma or religion, we must know what is the impact of this. So the impact of following dharma or religion is, we must discover dispassion in our heart. If the dispassion doesn't happen, then we have not worked on the religious path as a spiritual practice. Okay. This is what one Mundakopanishad says, Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirvedamayat na asti akrutaha krutena tad vijnanatham gurumeva vigachet samit panihi shrotriyam brahmarishta. Pariksha lokan karmachitan. Karmachitan, that which is gained through or accumulated through as a result of karma, karmachitan lokan, experiences. Nirvedamayat, one is bound to attain dispassion. And unless dispassion dawns, we can never be interested in the study of the Upanishad or Vedanta. We cannot be. See? Therefore, if we are walking the spiritual path, we have to observe this. Are we getting more and more involved in the world? Or we are able to withdraw from the world effortlessly? See? It is something like this. How do you know whether the fruit on the tree, the mango fruit, whether it is ripened or not? if it is detaching from the mother tree effortlessly, or just by a little breeze comes and the fruit detaches, then that fruit is ripened. See? And if you have to go and pluck it, then it is not ripened. So, forcibly plucking the fruit away from the tree is called as depression. And when the fruit is mature enough and separates effortlessly, it is called as a dispassion. See, many people we come across these days, they have got everything, all comforts, but they are comfortably miserable. All luxuries, they are luxuriously miserable. And the reason is no dispassion, only depression. And so depressed people, they come to us and they ask, Swamiji, please teach us meditation. See, it is something like this, those who want to practice meditation, it is something like this. Once I went to some gym. So there was one person, he said, Swamiji, I want to come with you. I said, come, it is your choice. So he was having crutches, fractured leg, and he came. And he told that person, the instructor, I also want to do what your Swamiji is doing. So the instructor looked at him. My dear friend, you have come to a wrong place. You should go to the hospital, not to the gym. Gym is for healthy people. In the same manner, meditation is for healthy people, not for the depressed one. Those who are depressed, dejected, frustrated, failures in life, they are not qualified for the spiritual path. See, friends. Therefore, first religious life must lead to dispassion, nirvedamaya. Nasti akrutaha krutena. Akruta, the essential self. See? The essential self is not the result of any activity. Anything which is created through action has a beginning and therefore must end. See, friends. Therefore, nirvedamaya. So when we are leading our religious life, live outside and observe inside. And if we are really discovering dispassion and not depression, the net result will be, we will be effortlessly relaxed under all conditions. Acceptance through wisdom is spiritual life. Acceptance through frustration is samsara. I was talking to somebody, when I was in China, maybe 2 years before, there was one girl who was conducting me, and after 2-3 days we became good friends. And I asked her, I said, hey, if I ask some personal question, will it be okay according to your rules and regulations? No, you can ask. I said, you people are not allowed to talk about politics. How do you feel? What a lovely reply she gave. She said, you talk about politics and you suffer. We don't talk about politics and we suffer. Suffering is common for both of us. But when you don't talk and suffer, you have accepted cheerfully. And when you unnecessarily became heated up, why this government is doing like that, why these people are doing like this, who is listening to you? Therefore, friends, dispassion is a natural withdrawal from the world born out of wisdom. Then the second problem comes in our life. The problem is, we know everything, but we are unable to rule and control our own mind. We are the victims of our own mind. our mind is making us dance. And because of that, we are constantly buffeted by the vagaries of the mind. Sometimes the mind is miserable, sometimes the mind is more miserable, sometimes the mind is more miserable. And for us, happiness is what? Absence of miserable experience is happiness. It is not a positive one. See? Therefore, we know everything. We can give lectures also. And create an illusion of wisdom among the listeners. See? This is what I experienced in Lions Club meetings. You know, when they invite us, I am the only human being, others are lions. And then that lion introduces me. And in that introduction, they will be firing because I am a Swami, so they have to match their firing. So they will not fire Sher Shairi, they will fire Shlok. See? And after the lecture is over, other lions come. And then they ask this lion, Are Gupta ji, you know Gita? Gita Vita, to I know Gita, Upanishad. Upanishad also. See, if you have studied Upanishad, Brahma Sutra you must know. Brahma Sutra also. Gupta ji is floating. See, friends. As regards knowledge is concerned, we don't lack. Our problem is, we know we should not be angry. And yet, we are the victim of our own anger. We know we should not talk when it is not required. Yet, कहना नहीं चाहिए, फिर भी कह देती हूँ, shut up. This is what the biggest problem for every one of us. See? Therefore, we suffer, be attentive, we suffer more because of ourselves and not because of the world. See? After a particular age one has crossed, then the desires about the worldly things stop bothering us intensely. When we are youngsters and the blood is boiling and oozing out, instead of the perspiration, blood is coming out. That time, yes, understand. But when we are 60 not out, 65 not out, all the energy to indulge in the outer world is over. That is no more a problem. But now the problem begins inside. And the inside problem is, Swamiji, I have now taken VRS. Now tell me what should I do? First, don't eat the head of your wife. Why? Because you will starve. Our problem is not outside. We are our real problem. Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu, Atmaiva Ripuratmana. Because the mind is ruling us. Not only ruling, but ruining us. See, friends. Then we come to the second stage, to come to the Atma Bodha, and that second stage is self-control through self-discipline. It is here we step on the path of yoga. Yoga is not only pumping air and bringing out all the pollution. No. Yoga is self-discipline in an overall understanding. Therefore, there are 8 limbs of yoga. First, we are not a problem to the world and the world is not a problem to us. First step, Yama Sadhana. See? Many times we are a problem to the world. People do not want us, but we go and impose ourselves. See? The second thing is, we are a problem to ourselves. The third thing is, there is no stability. The fourth thing is, our activities are uncontrolled. The fifth thing is our senses are controlling us. We are victims of our own sense organs. And after these 5 things are taken care of, then we work on the mind. And the mind is running in 3 parameters: time, space and object. Controlling the mind with reference to space is called as dharana. Controlling the mind with reference to objects is called as dhyana. And controlling the mind with reference to time is called as samadhi. When these 8 limbs are practiced consciously, then alone our mind comes under our control. Oh, it is too big, even we don't remember, these 8 limbs, we don't know what to do. Tell us some simple technique so that we can control the mind. Okay, we'll tell you that. Yet you will not do it. Guarantee. There are only 2 things. Try, friend. This point I have been emphasizing 100 times. Give it a try. First, stop talking to yourself. Is it, some Parkinson? Mental Parkinson is chattering inside. Keep on talking. Just observe. Are you talking to yourself? Then how do we stop that? Keep on humming something, anything. I am not telling you, start doing the Gayatri Japa, Om Bhur Bhuswa, anything. Keep humming. That will keep your mind occupied and it will stop talking to itself. And the second technique by which we can control the mind is, before we talk to anyone else, ask 100 times, is it necessary to talk? You will come to a conclusion, in 99.9% cases, we are not required to talk anywhere. If these 2 things we practice, then see how the mind is controlled. When we talk to ourselves, it is mostly the worries about the future. See? And when we talk to others, we bring our dead past. Jab hum jawan the, who cares? See? And thus, when you practice these 2 things, your mind will stop running in the past or the future. When the mind stops running in the past and the future, in the only utter present, mind dissolves like the ice dissolves in the water. After the ice dissolves in the water, can you separate it out? Exactly the same way. When the mind dissolves in the consciousness, the quality of life absolutely changes. Jasmannodvijate lokaha, lokannodvijate chayaha. Such a person is at home with everything and everyone, and all the people want him or her. It's something like, a magnetic charisma. When you take 2 pieces, one is iron and other is a magnet. Morphologically, structurally, externally, they are identical. But inside there is some change. Inside they are organized. In the same manner, the great masters and we, they are the same. But the difference is, great masters are organized inside. And that organized quality of life is like the magnet has the magnetic power of attraction in the same manner. See, friends, when this happens, then alone we are practicing the yoga abhyas. Now when these 2 things are done, one more problem crops up. The problem is, our I becomes stronger than what it was earlier. I am not like others, waking up late. I get up early in the morning. Who asked you to compare? Till such time, I versus you is valid, samsara has not disappeared. See, friends. Therefore, this I has to be dissolved. Like, if somebody is lazy, there is a possibility that he can improve by giving up laziness. Tamoguna. If somebody is angry, he can give up anger and improve. Rajoguna. But if somebody is getting up early in the morning, chanting the Lord's name, taking bath 3 times a day, and grazing along with the cattle on the field, not taking anything spicy, non-vegetarian or onion, garlic, only taking the Charuna Kamala Tirtha. Now that fellow, there is no possibility of improvement. Ho gaya. One person used to write me, I don't know where is he. He used to write me, Swamiji, please tell me, like you, I am also realized. You can laugh, but I could not. Like you, I am also realized. But my problem is, as you are marketing yourself on the TV, give me some tips. So that my realization becomes available to the people. Oh, see. Therefore, this I has to be dissolved. And it can be dissolved only by understanding. Spiritual evolution is not becoming someone special. Dissolving all speciality. Do we have less number of specificities in our personality? I am man, I am woman, I am young, I am old, I am beautiful, I am awful. In addition to that, I am spiritual, one more feather is added. See, friends. And therefore, to dissolve that, we take to the path of devotion. A devotee does not vote. Votee votes. Congestion, decongestion. In the same manner, votee and devotee. He doesn't get involved in the world by any way. Yad yad karma karomi tat tad akhilam shambho tavaradhana. He is in union with the divine theme, and therefore all his activities are directed toward the divine worship. When these things happen, then the mind is now pure as required. And which is the pure mind? Pure mind is that mind where inquiry about the self kindles naturally. Which is a clean and perfect mirror, where anything or anybody, when it comes in front of the mirror, it is reflected as it is. In the same manner, pure mind is that mind where inquiry kindles naturally. And once this inquiry kindles, kastvam koham kutamayataha kame janani kome tataha iti paribhavaya sarvamasaram vishvam tyaktva sapna vicharam bhaja govindam. Then the inquiry kindles. And such a person who has thus kindled this inquiry, he now comes for the study of Atma Bodhopanishad. This was that. And after having come and heard, and if you say, Swamiji, it is very difficult, it is okay for you. See, all the married people have got these kind of funny things, Because they are married, they require reservation quota for realization. If you are married, you are not done any favor to God. See, friends. So when the student thus comes to the teacher, that vijnanartham, to know that reality, Gurum eva abhigachet, one has to approach the Guru Maharaj. Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha gurau tasyete kathita yarta prakashante mahatmana. As we have devotion to the Lord, in the same way when we are devoted to the Guru. Now devotion to the Guru doesn't mean go on pressing him. See? Press the legs, devotion. Press the hands, devotion. Press the throat. See? Devotion to the music teacher is able to bring out the right raga without any dvesha. Then that is a devotion. In the same manner, the spiritual teacher is happy when the student is growing in his spiritual understanding and practicing it in his life. All other things are secondary. Therefore, such a student now approaches Shrotriya and Brahmanishta Gurus. There are two types of Gurus. There are three types. Two are real, third is Mahaguru. First type of Guru is Shrotriya Brahmanishta. Those who have studied the scriptures and not only erudition and scholarship, but they have converted the information into conviction and a conviction into experience. Thereby they are abiding in the absolute reality. They are one type of Guru. Second type of Gurus are those who are establishing the truth, but they do not teach the disciple in this manner. They create situations, and through the situations they teach. For example, I will tell you, this story comes in the life of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. This is what I read somewhere. So there were two persons, his disciples. One was disciple, other was his son. So he told, kindly construct a platform 4 by 4 and 2 feet tall. Tomorrow I will come and see. So they did it. Next day, hey, you said break it. Not, this is not the right way. Do it again. Once, twice, thrice. But he never told what is wrong. So the son got fed up. You don't like anything, whatever you do whatever you like. But the disciple again continued, without any argument. See, friends, be attentive. In the material world, questions are addressed. On the spiritual path, the person is addressed, not the question. But we get so caught up. See? So when we go to the Mahatma, we take their examination. Kitne gehre pani mein dekhe to sahi. In the same manner, the teacher also doesn't accept you just like that. See? Therefore, the Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru is the one who is good for all of us. If you go to these Avdhutas, you take the life of anybody, like Shirdi Sai Baba, he was Avdhut. How many people were around him when he was alive? Handful. Now there are millions. Why? Because to live with a living master is very difficult than to live with a past master. Therefore, Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru is the simple way for average people like us. Now, after having gone to the teacher for study, now the teacher and the student, they chant the Shanti Path. Shanti Path is a kind of sync application. You know synchronization? Your phone must synchronize with your laptop. Then the data can be transferred very easily. If there is no synchronization, data cannot be transferred. So that software for sync is called as Shanti Path. Om Vang me manasi pradishtita mano me vachi pradishtitam avira virya medhim evedasya ma anistaha shrutam me ma prahasihi anena aditena ahoratran sandadhami mrutam vadishyami satyam vadishyami tanmamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatu mam avatu vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So both of them are now praying to the Lord, not praying on the Lord. Om, O Lord. By this word Om, what is meant will be told in this Upanishad itself. But in general, Om means all the three expressions of the divinity. The attributeless, formless, Nirgun Nirakara is Om. With attributes but with no form, Saguna Nirakara is also Om. And the third, with attributes and with form, Saguna Sakar is also Om. Therefore, by invocation of the Om, we are invoking the God. So, O Lord, Vang me manasi pratishtita. See, may my speech abide in the knowledge. Meaning what? What is said is meant, and what is meant alone is said. Many times you must have come across, we are unable to say what we want to say. One example I will tell you. This happened in Gujarat. One young boy came and asked me, if I run after girls, what is wrong? I said, nothing is wrong, run. Nothing wrong? I said, no, nothing wrong. He got so frustrated. But people say, I say, who cares for the people? I said, do you smoke? How do you know? I said, don't worry about it. Do you smoke? Yes. Now, did you ask your mother before smoking, Mummy, I want to start smoking. Will you give me permission? Did you ask? No. Therefore, don't ask Mummy whether to run after girls or not. Keep running. When you are tired, जब सभी तुम्हारा हृदय तोड़ दे, तब मेरे पास all those who come to us, they are dead blind. So, then I said, look here, my friend, this is not your question. Your question is, your mind is not available to you when you want to apply for studies, etc. Is it not? Yes, this is what I wanted to say. Meaning, what we think that we are not able to even say. See, friends. And therefore, most of the time, it is misunderstanding because of wrong expressions. The first spiritual practice is this, that Vang me manasi pratishtita, mano me vachi pratishtitam, both ways. Now take an example. Knowledge is, we should start our day early in the morning. And the action is, we start our day as usual very late. What is the net result? Net result is, after a few days, we come to a conclusion that I am good for nothing. Slowly, self-confidence disappears. Therefore, when we respect our own knowledge in our own life, then only confidence is developed and sustained. It is not for others. So what we think is Jnana Shakti and what we act is the Kriya Shakti. If the knowledge and action, they are supporting each other, then only integration of the personality happens. But if our own knowledge is contradicted in our own actions, then the personality gets disintegrated. And therefore, Om Vang me manasi pratishtita, mano me vachi pratishtitam, avihi aviryam edhi. O Lord, please reveal me your great being. Vedasya ma anistaha shrutam me ma prahasi. let me gather the wisdom as expounded in the scriptures, and Shrutam me ma prahasi, whatever I have heard, I should remember. See, this prayer particularly, you all know one prayer. Sahana bhavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karvavahe tejasvina vaditamastu. Whatever we have studied, it should remain brilliant and bright. You must have come across some students. They have got this problem. One boy, I went to somebody's house for Bhiksha. So his mother was telling, somebody please bless my son, he is not able to pass the examination. I said, it is not necessary to pass the examination. What is required is, those who are extremely intelligent, hardworking, they become doctors, engineers, and remain subordinate throughout days. Those who could not study properly, they start some business, real estate business. And those who are good for nothing, criminals, gundas, they get into politics. So see, wherever your son fits, you put him there. Don't worry. Fools only waste time in education. The non-fools earn money anyway, because that is the bottom. No, but you know, why this is happening? What happened? See, before he goes to examination, he remembers everything. After he comes back from the examination, he remembers everything. But don't know what happens. In the examination, there is a blackout. See, tejasvina vadita vastu. In the same manner, we know what is right. Janami dharmam, nacha me pravrittihi, janami adharmam, nacha me nivrittihi, kenapi devena hridisthitena yatha niyuktosmi tatha karomi. Therefore, Shrutam me ma prahasi, O Lord, whatever we have studied, we have understood, we have heard, let us not forget that. You can correct somebody once, twice, thrice. Afterwards, we accept, okay, this is a manufacturer's defect. And what is spiritual life? Two aspects of our personality. One is essential nature, second is acquired nature. Essential nature is called as Swarupa. Acquired nature is called as Swabhava. Essential nature cannot be changed. Acquired nature, because we have acquired, we alone have to change. See friends, but normally what happens? Oh, this is हमारा स्वभाव ऐसा गुस्सा करने का. That is not the way. And therefore, when we are studying or going to the teacher, whatever we are told, if we do not practice that, once or twice or thrice at the most, the teacher will tell us, thereafter select, shift, delete. No need wasting time on putting water on the pot upside down. So, Shrutam me ma prahasi, anena aditena ahoratran saddadhami. So, whatever we have studied, ahoratran, day and night, I shall be committed to this and this alone. Anusandhadami. Sandhi is union. Anu continues. Whatever we have studied, let me be all the time involved in this contemplative mode in and through every moment of our life. When we thus discover this principle, we develop a different vision. And in that vision, everywhere we come to get a message from every experience of our life. Every experience. And this is possible only when we take every experience of our life as a spiritual examination. Every experience. And if we take this way, then alone, ahoratran anusandadhami, normally we don't do anusandhan, inquiry, but we normally complain. See? small kids ask questions which has got a simple depth. Elderly people have no questions. They have complaints. One of the complaints is, Swamiji, my children don't like to utilize my experience. Experience cannot be transferred. If I say like this, Beta, I have taken food, you don't worry, it's okay. Okay. Everybody has to have one's own experience. But the elderly people don't understand this, then they complain. Swamiji, I told my son, look Beta, I have been smoking a lot, it is really dangerous. But he doesn't listen to me, he just smokes. Therefore, let us have this Anusandhan. He who is committed to the divine theme, he has no time to compare and condemn anything or anybody in this world. In Bhagavad Mahapuran, toward the end, Bhagavan Sri Krishna gives instructions to Uddhav ji in Uddhav Gita. There he tells very clearly, beautiful thing. Move in this world without commenting on anyone on any issue. And the teacher gives the reason. The reason. When we comment, evaluate, label anything, we have given a status of reality to that thing. What is accepted as illusion, we don't evaluate. Do we evaluate the mirage waters of Kerala versus mirage water of Rajasthan? Because they are illusions. In this manner, when we are committed to the truth, nothing else can ever disturb us. One example I will give you. This happened in Vrindavan. Once, one Mahatma, he was, used to go to satsang somewhere, some Shastriji used to talk on Bhagavad. So this Mahatma will go and listen, not looking here and there, who has come, who has gone, why worry? See, we are interested in somebody else's job. There is no need. So, one of his followers one day said, Maharaji, I want to tell you something. What is that? That Shastriji to whom you go for listening every day is so egoistic. All the walls of his house, they are decorated by the honors that he has got, and he is showing off that he is someone great. He is very egoistic. We should not go and listen to him. So Mahatma said, really? I have never seen that. What for you are going there? For listening to satsanga or evaluating the teacher? See, friends, such persons can never be committed to the truth. So, ahoratra anusandhami, rutam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami. Rutam is the truth as declared in the scriptures. Satyam is practice of that knowledge in one's daily life. Rutam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, tanma mamatu, tadbhaktar mamatu. O Lord, may you protect us. Avatu, sahana avatu, same thing. Protect us means what? May the Guru be protected from the devotees and may the devotees be protected from the Guru. How the devotees be protected from the Guru? If the Guru takes away your purse, be aware. See? And if the Guru takes away your ignorance, be committed to him. And similarly, how the Guru has to be protected from the disciples, there are two types of people. One is a disciple, second is a devotee. Disciple is the one who is there to change himself to the expectation of required purity. And a devotee is the one for whose sake the Guru changes. Acha beta. In this manner, devotees make the Mahatmas do their sadhana. Therefore, tanma motu tad bhaktaram motu avatumam avatu bhaktaram. Oh Lord, please protect me, please protect my teacher. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. 3 Shantis. First Shanti is for our gross body. Gujarat is our gross body. May our gross body be available to us whenever we want. That is all. Don't get lost into the figure complex. It doesn't matter whether you are 36, 24, 36 or you are 62, 62, 62. It doesn't matter. What is important is, are you available or not? See, friends. See, when I was in this Lonavala, there all the students are yoga students. And sometimes I conduct classes for them. And here I sit like this, there they give me the asana to sit. Whatever the traditions, I sit like that. Now that within 1 hour of talk, those students, they change 60 asanas. Per minute 1 asana. They can't sit even 1 moment straight. No steadiness. Therefore, first Shanti is at the level of the gross body. Let the body be available to us whenever it is required. When the body is required to get out of the sleep. No, 30 hours, 5 minutes. If somebody is troubling you. If there is nobody to trouble, then you look into the watch. What is the time? Oh, it is 3:48. What is the odd figure to wake up? So let me wake up at 4 o'clock, round figure. And again it becomes another odd figure. Finally, chodo yaar. Therefore, let the body be available to us. Om Shanti. Secondly, Shanti is the mind. Let the mind be available to us. When we want to do the japa, the mind is not available. When we want to study, the mind is not available. Anywhere we want, the mind is on revolt. So Shanti, let the mind be available to us whenever needed. And third Shanti is, let us be not the victim of our own laziness. There are 3 things. One is Alasya, Nidra and Pramad. These are the 3 babies of Ajnana, Avidya, incomplete knowledge. So let these 3 things be quietened. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. In this manner, having prepared ourselves, now we enter the Atma Bodha Upanishad, Prathamodhyaya. Tomorrow you can get, there may be copies outside. You can take from there. If there are no copies, suppose I read. Om Pratyaganandam Brahma Purusham Pranavaswarupam Akara Ukaro Makaraha iti Triaksharam Pranamam Tadetat Omiti Yamuktva Muchyate Yogi Janma Samsara Bandhanan Om Namo Narayanaya Shankha Chakra Gadadharaya Tasmat Om Namo Narayanaya iti Mantropasakaha Vaikuntham Bhuvanam Gamishyati. Now here there are 3 types of paths which are indicated. First, Om Pratyak Anandam Brahma Purusham Pranavaswarupam. First is the path of inquiry. Second is the path of yoga. Yam Uktva Muchyate Yogi Samsara Bandhana. And third is the path of upasana. Om Namo Narayanaya. And he who does the chanting of this mantra, Ashtakshara mantra, he goes Vaikuntha Bhuvanam Gamishati. These are the 3 paths. In Kaivalya Upanishad also, these different paths are indicated and all of them are rated according to our evolution. Everything is right, nothing is wrong. So first, Om Pratyaganandam Brahma Purusham. Pratyak, immediate, one's own essential self. Pratyak. Anandam, that bliss which is not gained from any source. Pratyak Anandam, one's own essential blissful nature. Brahma Purusham. That is our essential nature, the infinite I, that Purusham. Purusham is what? Two meanings. Puri Shayanat Purushaha, the one who is living in the body called as the Puri, therefore Purushaha, and Purnatvat Purushaha, and also because he is infinite, no limitations of Desha Kala Vastu, therefore Purushaha. So here, Pratyaganandam Brahma Purusham. See, I as a man is Brahma, I as a husband is Jiva. See the difference? So, Pratyagananda Brahma Purusham, the bliss which is not created in time, the bliss which is not subject to modification or loss, the bliss which is infinite, is our essential nature, Brahma Purusha. So here, when I want to know or bodha, experience my own being, what do I recognize myself as? See? There are different stages of these eyes. First eye is the Gaunatma. Gaunatma means the secondary self. Second eye is the Mithyatma, means the illusory self. The third is the Mukhyatma, means the essential self. See? Like essentially I am Parabrahma Paramatma, Pranaswarupam, Brahma Swarupam, Pratyaganandam, essential nature. This cannot be improved, this cannot be changed, this cannot be modified, this cannot be negated, this cannot be destroyed. See? This is one. Then this absolute I, that I is, this I gets identified with the bodies and then becomes I am the body notion, the personality. So this is Mithyatma, not the real. Because when there is no identification with the body, yet we continue to exist. When there is no identification with the mind, as in deep sleep, yet we continue to exist. So, the one who is identified with the body and thereafter being born as Mr. Waker, it is the Mithyatma, not the real one. Mithya means what? Mithya doesn't mean absent. Absent is asat. Mithya means which appears but does not exist. I give some example. Man is Mukhyatma, husband is Mithyatma. How? This man got identified with a girl and became her husband. Then he realized his mistake. So, after realizing the mistake, you must correct it. So he corrects. Then he separates. The moment he separates, where the husband goes? See? So the first marriage is an imagination over realities. The second marriage is the hope over experience. Maybe the second marriage may click, who knows? Hope. We are all living in hopes. No, that also breaks. So the second husband, where he has gone? So, Mithyatma means husband for all practical purpose is a utilizable thing. But because it is utilizable, because it is appearing, that does not mean it is real. Exactly the same way, the absolute Pratyagananda Brahma Purusham, identified with the gross body, starts behaving as if this is me and nothing else. This is the Mithyatma. And after we are identified with the gross body, then the Gaunatma, the secondary Atma is born. After the body identification alone, the husband, wife, brother, sister, mother, father, everything is born. Be attentive. And who is really miserable in life? This Gaunatma. Husband, wife, brother, father, mother, sister, in-laws, they are miserable. And who are they? Gaunatma, secondary. Now what should be the spiritual practice? See? In one of my avatar, I was a girl. And therefore I got married to a boy. And you know, in our Indian tradition, which was borrowed by Americans for marketing strategy, Indian tradition is get married to a boy and get the in-laws free. Buy a mattress, get 2 pillows free. So the 2 pillows, the mother-in-law, father-in-law, I got them free. And whenever something is given free, it is unwanted in their stock. So the unwanted stock, as my in-laws, they came in my life. And I was so disturbed and tortured because of these in-laws. Then I started meditation. How to get rid of them? Should I kill them? It is criminal. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And one day in my meditation, I got a divine message. My dear child, inquire how they have come in your life. Then I realized, oh, after marrying this man, they came in my life. So if I separate from this man, what sadhana I will have to do to get rid of the in-laws? When I divorced from my husband, what sadhana I had to do to get rid of the in-law? Zero. Exactly the same way. When we disidentify from the body, what sadhana we have to do to be happy? Nothing. But our struggle is, I should be open, but I should not see anything. Then you take, the birth of a ullu. Our struggle is like that sparrow, standing before the mirror, but there should not be a reflection. It cannot be. See, friends. Then what could be done? Only recognize the reflection is an image, not the real. That's all. In the same manner, all the relation roles that we play your role, but don't become serious at all. That's all the spiritual practice. See? Therefore, Om Pratyaganandam Brahma Purusham. This is our essential nature. Neither the Gaunatma, mother, father, brother, sister, etc., nor the Mithyatma, body, the waker, mind, the dreamer, or the deep sleeper, or Samadhistha Purusha, none of them, they are all Mithyatma. Then what is the Mukhyatma? Mattaha Smriti Jnanam Apohanancha. 4 things. I alone support Jnanam, the waking experience, but never become a waker. I support the dream experiences, but never become a dreamer. I support the deep sleep experience, but never sleep. And I support the Samadhi experience, but never begin or end with the Samadhi. This eternal presence is Pratyaganandam Brahma Purusham. When the dream breaks, will we ever bother about the dreamer? The achievements, the failures, the friends and enemies? No. In the same manner, when we wake up from this waking dream and come to experience Pratyagananda Brahma Purusham. Now for that, how this practice is done? Pranava Swarupam. D is our essential nature, Swarupa essential nature. Our essential nature is Pranava Swarupa. Pranava means old yet ever new. What is this funny thing, old yet ever new? Meaning that which is beyond the limitations of time. Time cannot influence this me. Therefore, Pranava, ancient yet ever the same, because time does not influence the reality. Pranava Swarupam. And what is Pranava or the Omkara? There are four aspects. Akara, Ukara, Makara, Iti, Triaksharam. These are the three alphabets associated with the Om. And the fourth is the silence that follows after the chanting of the Om. This is called as Amatra. So, this Akara, Ukara, Makara, Triaksharam, Pranava, Tadetat Omiti. This is what is called as Om. Now be very attentive. You must have seen, in the various books, and particularly these PowerPoint people, a powerful tool to confuse somebody is a PowerPoint. They will be presenting in a very beautiful way, but there is nothing in there. They do it. So, suppose this Kundalini, various chakras are shown there. And there is one chakra at the base. From there, an arrow is drawn and it is written there, Mooladhara. Then the second one, another arrow is drawn. Then Swadhisthana. Then the Manipur. Then Anahata. Then the Vishuddha chakra. And then the Agya chakra. And then the Sahasra. So, object, label. Object, label. This is the meaning of Om. The one who is expressing as a waker with reference to the waking experience is Akar. Kar means to pronounce only it is difficult. Therefore, Kar is added. Akara, Ukara, Makkara. So, this is a label given to Mr. Waker who appears when identification with the gross body takes place. Then, the same reality which is getting identified with the modifications of the mind is called as the dreamer, Taijasa, that is Ukar. And then the Makara, in the deep sleep, the deep sleeper or the Pragya, he is labeled as Ma. I am not using the technical language. Technical language makes the audience feel that, oh, he is a very erudite scholar, means what? We are not understood anything. In the technical language, they say it is Abhidhana Pradhana and Abhidheya Pradhana. What is this Abhidhana, Abhidheya? You will not understand. It's not for you. Why? I also not understood. Abhidheya is substance. Abhidhana is label. So this Omkara, Triaksharam. So Akara, Ukara, Makara, Iti, Triaksharam, Pranavam. And now these three, they have this limited existence. So they start from the silence. The first letter A is pronounced without any effort. Simply throw the air through the vocal cords, A happens. No movement of any part of the organ of speech happens. This A subsequently gets modified by the rolling of the tongue, and then therefore it's called U. So A, U. So A modified through the 52 Varnamala. 52. Our Kali Mata, you must have seen Kalkatte Wali. Real one, no? Not Kalkatte Wali, real one. So, that Kali Mata has tongue coming out. And there are 52 heads, out of which a mala is made. That is called as Matruka Mala. Matruka means these alphabets. So O, A, I, I, U, U, E, I, U, O, A, Ru, Ru, Lu, Lu. Then Ka, Kha, Ga, Ga, Cha, 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 Ta, 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 Pa, 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 Yara, Lava, Sak, Sha, Ha. So start from A, ends in A. Therefore, Aham. Aham is the one who is playing in these alphabets. And therefore, till our mind stuttering doesn't stop, this Aham will not go away. So this Pranava, so it starts effortless from the throat and then ends in Ma, in between U modification. A, U, Ma. Ma is the last syllable that we pronounce when the lips are closed. Try to keep your lips apart and try to say you cannot say. So, from beginning to end, all the language is included in Om. And what is the world? World is nothing but Nama and the Rupa. That's all the world is. Keep it. Therefore, see, unknowingly we all know this. But we don't know that we know. Whenever you want to sit for meditation or do prayers, what we do? Sit quiet. Meaning, get away from all movement and come to a point of no change state. Second thing, we close our eyes. No forms. And third thing, we don't want any sound. Therefore, no thought. So physical stability, disappearance of forms, and absence of sounds. That which is given, which is giving existence even to the absence is the Omkar. Akara is supported by the same reality. The modification of Ukara are supported by the same reality. The absence of all the expressions in the deep sleep is also supported by the same reality, and yet this absolute reality is beyond all of them. Atyatishtat dashangulam Purusha evedagam sarva. Therefore, Om Pratyaganandam Brahma Purusham Pranavaswarupam Akara Ukaro Makara iti Traksharam Pranavam Tadetat Omiti. This is the Om. So on this Om, it is not the main for doing the japa. Om, 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 Om. No. But it is not possible for everybody else. Like Gayatri. Gayatri is a chanda. There are hundreds of Gayatri. Surya Gayatri, Chandra Gayatri, Hanuman Gayatri, Rama Gayatri. But this Gayatri Chanda is labelled Om Bhurbu Swaha, Tasavidurvarendam, Gayatri Mantra, then Gayatri Mata. Santoshi Mata you don't get anywhere. In all the scriptures you try and see them. It is the Bollywood product. See friends, because human mind cannot entertain formless, soundless, absolute reality. Therefore trying to hold on and keep the mind alive. Therefore, akara ukara makareti traksharam pranavam tadedat omiti. So this is the meaning of Omkar. Now see. So we sit down and normally what we do, we complain. Mind is very disturbed. But don't complain. Find out where from the disturbance begins. See? The first, in the waking state, disturbance begins from the objective world. We look at something or somebody and the mind gets disturbed. Disturbed means thoughts start coming out. Then in the second source of disturbance is the impressions on our mind. There is nobody disturbing us, but we are sitting like that. What are you doing? Nothing. What nothing? You are thinking? No, I was not thinking. No, please tell what you were thinking. No, I was thinking when I was small in Dumri Taraiya, in my class there was